Like, she never lets me be great. Like, with the clinginess, we gonna need you to get down. With the clinginess, we gonna need you to get down, honey. Because I'm working. No. See, I'm glad that I'm getting this on camera so y'all see. Look at this paw. She wants my attention. I'm trying to type. And she got her paw right here. Like, you see? I'm over here in a meeting talking to a client and she wants to get in the camera. Like, look, no. Go. Then I have to pretend like I'm getting, she's fighting me. No, you want to go crate time? You want crate time? I'm gonna put her in the crate. This is Vlogmas day 8. Like, this is literally the 8th day. I've been trying to keep up. I've been a little bit behind. I kind of want to talk about black girl tech, the black girl tech world. I never really consider myself within the tech community, but I had to really like reevaluate and check myself. I am in the black girl tech group, okay? Because I'm not techie, but I'm in a tech company. So I'm just gonna kind of walk you guys through like my history, my work history, how I got into this field, and hopefully it can be like informative or enlightening for you guys that are trying to get into the tech industry. So, oh, I'm excited. I've never really talked about it on film before, so this is just, it's new to me. So senior year, my mom, she raised me single mom, and she told me that it was just a rule in the house. You're either going to the army or you're going to college or you're getting out, okay? At that point, I was working for Macy's as a cashier. So I think I was getting paid like $7.25, $8 an hour. So where am I living on my own with that? That wasn't money, and that was part-time at that. Most of my money I went back into Macy's because I shopped a lot. That was a shopaholic. That was one of the reasons why I held on to the job so long. I worked there for like 2 years because I love to shop, and Macy's has everything, okay? So that was like my options. My options were to go to college or to go to the army. Even at one point I wanted to go to the army because I just knew that college wasn't my thing. Like, I was so non-traditional, and you know, the ROTC program, I went to like a early, just to get out of school early. I took like the ROTC testing to get into the army for admissions. I scored well, so they just kept calling, the recruiters kept calling, and my mama, she didn't want me to go. She's like, no, you're not killing yourself and all of that. You're not gonna die in the army, so you're going to school. So I didn't have an option. My option was to go to school or get out. Those are my options. So I went to school. Even the major that I picked, it wasn't really something that I fully knew about. Obama was upcoming during that time. 2007 was when I graduated high school. So I was just mimicking him. When I was in kindergarten, I always said that I wanted to be a lawyer. I didn't really know what it took. I just knew that I wanted to help people. I wanted to help underprivileged people. I wanted to help people that got into situations but just couldn't afford representation. So that was my why I wanted to be a lawyer growing up. So you know, I figured out Obama, you know, he was within the politics, he was a lawyer, so I kind of followed what he did. That was his major, political science. Knew nothing about it, okay? When I got into it, I hated it, okay? I took my general classes. I kept failing, what did I fail? science, because I hate science, okay? This was just general science. I tried biology, I tried chemistry. Like, I was horrible. Even in high school, I barely flew by it. I got a C in high school, consistent C's, maybe a B minus if I was, you know, paying attention. But it just wasn't, I kept dropping it, you know? I wasn't really there. Like, I just went to school just to be out of the house. I stayed on campus, but I still was in the same state. Like, I just wanted to get out of the house, not pay for it up front, and do my own thing. So I barely was at the school. I was over my boyfriend's house, you know, trying to figure it out, trying to figure out like where I fit in. I was horrible. Like, I hated college campus life. I hated everything about college. I hated everything about school. Like, when I got to my major classes, like, I hated them. I hated them. I met my child's father. We, you know, hit it off, and I got pregnant. I think I was a junior. Like, I just graduated, not graduated, but I just got done junior year, and I did like my first semester senior year. Dropped out. My mom, she didn't want anything to do with me. Like, when I told her I was pregnant, she felt like I was ruining my life, and she didn't say anything. She just left, didn't come back, okay, for a whole day. So it was kind of like an unspoken thing, and I knew that I had to just get out. I had to just leave and do my own thing, because I knew that I was gonna have my son, and my life was my life to live. It was my journey. So I took the hard way. Took the hard way. So speeding up into like what, you know, life and life experiences. A lot of people that I knew of or that went to school with me, I saw them on Facebook and things like that graduating, and I got a little depressed because I'm like, I never finished anything that I start. I tried to, I moved in with my boyfriend at the time, my child's father, and I was basically like a stay-at-home pregnant person. I didn't like it. I hated it. I hated where we lived. We didn't live in a desirable neighborhood. We lived in a studio. Our bed was on the floor, and it was not like our rent was like $400, and we couldn't afford that. So that was just a living situation. Like, we didn't have much. I remember there being times where we didn't have money for food. Like, we didn't have money for food. So it just wasn't a good situation. So I tried to go to a trade school for medical billing and coding while I was pregnant. Word of advice, like, anybody that is continuing to work or continue to go to school and they make it through pregnancy, kudos to you, because me during pregnancy, like, I'm not motivated, I'm sleepy, I'm irritable, I don't want to be around people, and it just didn't work out for me. So I'm just taking out debt, you know, going to another school, you know, trying to do something else to kind of be productive while I am pregnant, and it just didn't work out for me. So I ended up dropping out of that too. So fast forward, I have my baby, and I'm trying to find work. I started off doing like temp jobs. With the temp jobs, I was doing like factory work. Even in high school, I had 2 jobs, so I never had a problem with getting jobs. These were just like jobs that were entry-level type work. I did like factory work. I worked for temp agencies with Iron Oaks or something like that, but basically their job was to stow away important paperwork in factories. That people paid for you to stow away files, and a lot of these files were old, and they would be on the floor and everything, and I don't know why people paid for this service if all of this stuff was on the floor. But yeah, that was one of them. And then I realized that I had to stop working at that job because the working conditions was horrible. A piece of glass from a light bulb broke and fell into my eye, and when that happened, I realized that this job was not worth it. It didn't even pay me $10 an hour. Yeah, it was full time, but it was not worth it. It was backbreaking work, and I realized that wasn't for me. Okay, so where did I work before then? Like, I really wanted to work for Comcast. Like, my mom worked for Comcast. She retired from Comcast. I think she worked there for over 10 years. And I've been applying myself, and she wanted me to get in by my own merit. But because I didn't have a good work history, I didn't really work many places. I'm fresh out of high school. I'm a college dropout, you know, so it's like I didn't have a good leg to stand on with my resume. So I told her to get me in, like, pass my resume, let them know that I wanted to get in where I fit in, you know what I mean? And she tried to warn me, but I wanted to get in there. So this is another word of advice. Like, in the beginning, if you are fresh out of high school or don't really know where to start, a great place to start is by networking. Networking will take you far, because if your resume is not where it needs to be, sometimes you just gotta know somebody that knows somebody to get you into your first, like, well-known company. Now, even though Macy's is a well-known company, like, when you start getting into corporate America, like, that's just like entry-level work. So I got into, my mom put in the word, and I got into, you know, the interview process, and it was very extensive, but I got into it. They still didn't pay me very well, even thinking about back then, but I thought it was enough. I got paid $12.60 an hour. It was the most stressful job of my life. I will say that. All of the jobs I've ever had in my life, that was the most stressful job that I've ever had in my life, my entire life. Number one, the work environment was a call center. It was an inbound call center. You worked on dual screens, and it wasn't mainly the customers, because the customers were always calling in because they were upset and irate and yelling and cursing because their bill went up, you know. So they're just upset. They're like, I want to cancel. You guys were stupid, like slur language, like it just wasn't. You're coming in the door and they're mad. Okay, you didn't even do that and they're mad. So I'm taking that everyday abuse from the clients, from the customers, and then by the end of the call, because I'm naturally great with customers, I said, now my passion is helping people. That's just what I'm good at. And by the end of each call, most calls, they're apologizing, you know. And the issue was with the management. So I ended up, you know, I gained a lot of weight after pregnancy, and I wanted to get back onto my health kick. I got a personal trainer, and sorry guys, so my phone died, but so basically Comcast was a horrible experience for me. I worked there for about 2 years. I ended up taking leave for about 6 months because I had knee problems. I have something called chondromalacia of my right knee, and basically is the degeneration of it is the degeneration of cartilage on your bone. So you know how your bone, it has all of these connections. I'll show you on the screen here so you can see. But the cartilage is basically what keeps your bone to bone from rubbing together. So with me, my bones are they're kind of rubbing together because I'm losing that cartilage that kind of protects your bone from rubbing together on your knee. So at night, my knee was hurting horribly. Like, I can't, even now, like, I can't sit or stand for long periods of time without it hurting. So I had this great doctor. Her name is Dr. Parrish, and she kept it real with me, and she just told me, you have to lose weight. There's no, because I had needle injections, I was taking Vicodin, I was taking Tylenol Codeine 3, and I was just high off of drugs. And I needed that to avoid crying myself to sleep every night. That's how bad it was. Like, imagine not being able to go to sleep because of the pain, and you're crying because of the pain. in your knee. And of course, with a Western medicine, it's all about prescribing you medications. It's all about money and keeping you coming to specialists when the truth of the matter was I just needed to lose weight. Now, they don't have a process like, of course they have like knee replacement surgery and stuff like that, but it hasn't gotten to that point yet. To slow down the degeneration of my cartilage, what I have to do and what I have to maintain is my weight. The less weight that is on my knee, the better off it'll be. So it's like less pressure on it. So that's the real reason that I decided to become a vegetarian, because all the other like little diets and stuff like that, they didn't work for me. Like I really just had to buckle down and just let go of meat, because being a vegetarian was like more so of a lifestyle for me. It wasn't a diet. So with that being said, I did it for 2 weeks, and then I continued it. I met this woman in the Thompson Center. She was working at like a Asian sushi grill or something like that, and I was just getting like a vegetable soup, and I told her, hey, you know, I've been doing this vegetarian diet for like 2 weeks, and you know, this is my last day, and I've been having more energy, you know, I feel great, you know, I'm losing a little bit of weight, and I feel really good aside from just the weight loss. And she was a vegan, and she's been a vegan, I think she said, for about 6 or 7 years. And she was like, just keep going. Why you have to stop at 2 weeks? Like, I definitely think you should keep going. I'm like, you know what? I can do this. So I felt like it was meant for me to meet that woman that day. And I just kept it going, and I haven't looked back ever since. Now there are times that I do miss meat, but yeah, that's all. That's another video. Like, that's for health. We talking about my work history, and I'm over here talking about weight and health management. Anyways, after Comcast, like I was unemployed for a long time, and I was just stressed out. My relationship was declining with my child's father. I was trying to figure out like what I was gonna do. Like, I just didn't have the money to make do. I worked for Grubhub. I just wanted to, I got off of my depression, and I just started applying to different jobs. You know, I wanted to, you know, I thought about stuff that I actually used in my everyday life. And I'm like, you know, Comcast was a big company. What other companies can I work for that are like big names that I wouldn't even think about? So I just applied on my own to Grubhub. And it was a numbers game. Let's just say that when you're applying for different jobs, like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I didn't want to do the similar call center type thing. I wanted to kind of branch out. It was a call center position, but it was a restaurant care specialist. That was the name of the job. And that was like honestly one of my favorite jobs that I had. I love the people there. It wasn't all inbound calls. Like, we spoke to restaurant owners, and that gave me a sense of dealing with like business owners, because I wanted to be a business owner one day, and it gave me that inspiration. I think I got paid a little bit more. I got paid by the time I ended with Comcast, I was getting paid $14.60, so I did get a little bit of a pay increase. Grubhub was around the same amount. It was like 14 something. So I didn't take a pay cut. It went a little bit up, a few cents. And it just wasn't enough. It was downtown Chicago. I had to commute on the metro. The metro is expensive. So it just wasn't enough. And I remember, you know, we did troubleshooting. We answered clients, the restaurant owners' calls. Were like with when they're going to get paid, how much they're going to get paid, if they wanted to make updates to their menus, if they needed troubleshooting with their, you know, their tablets where they get their orders and stuff like that. We helped with that. And we had a whole call center where they had client facing, like customer facing, like if they're ordering their deliveries, they had people that did that. But I was a restaurant care specialist. I helped the restaurant owners. So that was super cool for me. I love the people. I love the dynamic. Everything about that job was cool. I worked there for 6 months. And then one of my coworkers there, she told me about PayPal. So it was I don't know. PayPal was, they paid, she told me that they're right down the street. They paid more. She was going through the process. She was getting a few people hired. She's like, you need to get in, okay? Get in where you fit in, okay? Some people from where we were, they didn't get it. And I went in, I got the second interview. I did well. And I went in for the tech specialist position, I was getting paid more. I believe the pay was like $20 an hour. But when I got in there, basically it was like an inbound call center, and I was helping customers who were Venmo customers that we currently have. I've still never used Venmo before, but they were Venmo customers, and they had like issues like with setting up their accounts, or issues with sending payments, or issues with receiving payments. So they wanted to know when they're going to get their payments. So we were answering questions like that. So a position became available, which was third shift. Third shift allowed you to, it was a small team. It was like a 5-person team. Management wasn't there, and we had the whole like top floor to ourselves, okay? So this was a great position, a great opportunity. Not many people got to be on this team, and it was all people of color. It was diverse. Like, it was, no, I didn't say diverse, but you know, it was people of color, people that look like me, a team of 5. And what? You get a pay increase for 9 different inches? What? Oh my gosh, that was the position of a lifetime. We watched movies. So basically all we did, because the call center was closed at that point, all we did was did chats. That's it. So I think the juggling was for like 4 to 5 chats at the same time, of clients. A lot of them, it was funny, customers, Venmo customers, because a lot of them, they were drunk chatting. And I didn't know that people did this until I had that job. Like, they were drunk chatting like Dorito with cheese, and saying stupid, belligerent stuff. So it was a fun experience. I worked for PayPal for like two years. 2 years. I lost my aunt, and you know, things got shaky, and they fired me. It had to do with attendance. It was a mixture of things, honestly. I wasn't really as productive as I could have been. I really wasn't in a good space, because I lost somebody that was really meant a lot to me. So when it came time for, I was devastated. Like, when they came to me and they told me that I was let go, I was so devastated. And, you know, I was crying, I was depressed and everything. It was around my birthday. It was in my birthday month in July. And I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I had so many things that I wanted to do, that I looked forward to in the future. And I'm like, I don't know what to do, okay? So when it came down to unemployment definitely sided with me, because they didn't have a rightful termination reason. So I got unemployment for a minute, okay? I sat on that for a minute.